In this Arcade County tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to create an emitter. Now what I've got going on in this level right here is I've got Mega Man. He's just running around, shoot his gun and all that stuff. Very loud, by the way. But I'm going to create an emitter. And first of all, what is an emitter? An emitter is a sprite with a behavior attached to it which can create other objects. It can create other sprites, it can create scripts, it can create cutscenes, or it can play sounds as well. Practical uses for an emitter, which I'm going to show you here in a moment, but some other uses would be, for example, if you had a house with a chimney and you wanted smoke to billow out, you'd set an emitter to the top of that chimney, and then it would periodically create those clouds that would float away. Something like Ghosts and Goblins, where you have the graveyard scene and zombies spawn out of the ground over and over and over again. That would be an emitter as well. It's a way, you only get 200 sprites to drop onto your screen, so an emitter is a great way to create sprites over and over and over again, and you can get real complex with it. I'm going to show you a simple emitter, but you can do a lot of elaborate things with it as well. So we're going to go up here, and I've set up a little sprite up here. This is my emitter sprite, and this is just a sprite like anything else. You can see here it is, along with some other sprites I've created for this game as well. So it's just a very simple sprite, just a little one-frame sprite that's just going to sit here, and I've added the heli emit script. And I haven't done anything with this script yet, so I'm going to show, or this behavior I should say. I'm going to show you how it works. And of course we always select our behaviors right there. And I've got my game running, so you can see Mega Man's still down here blinking, and I can still run him around. So we're going to do this all in real time. Actually, you know what, we are going to go ahead and pause this, because if I do it in real time, you'll just see the helicopter start spawning and not understand where it's coming from. So let's go back to our behaviors. And one of the things that you're probably going to want to do is when you go to your movement, you're going to want to set your gravity to 0 in most cases, so your emitter just sits there. I also set the alignment of my emitters to neutral, so that a player doesn't injure it if he bumps into it, or an enemy. It just sort of ignores it. So that's how I do that. And of course you can tell it to ignore things as well, so that's what I do with an emitter. We can also turn off the visibility if we wanted to. I'm going to leave it on because Mega Man's never going to jump this high, so you'll never see this. If you could see it, it would look tacky just having it sit there, but you could turn it off if you wanted to. So now let's go over to the emitter panel all the way on the right of the little behavior buttons. And let's do this very quickly. I'm going to select the object to emit, which is the helicopter. I'm going to select the helicopter's behavior, which is the heli BH. And over here we can click this to change the direction. I want it to face to the left, but I want to show you something else very quickly. You'll see that when we get to the end of this, I've jumped through it twice now, we've got left and right arrows. When you have this set, it means it's just going to spawn it randomly to the left or to the right, or up and down. So if you wanted something to pop up, and then maybe it went to the left, maybe it went to the right, you could have it go either way. We want our helicopter, to face to the left though. We could have it face to the right if we wanted to, but we're going to have it face to the left. And we can select our sounds and all that stuff as well, but we're not going to spawn any sounds. Down here we have some stuff. Controlled sprite must be to the left. This means that it's not going to create this object unless our character is to the left of this object. Once again, using Ghosts and Goblins as an example, when you're in the graveyard, if a zombie was going to spawn, if we're going to spawn a zombie right here and run him to the left, it wouldn't make sense to do that if we were to the right of this sprite, because that zombie's not going to kill us. So that would be a use for that. So now we just hit Add Object, and now it's added that object to the script. So now if I hit the play button, it's going to spawn the helicopter. And there's the helicopter. And you'll see what this helicopter does. He's going to go down, and he's going to drop a little health box. There's the health box. And now he's going to float back up off the screen and then disappear. And this is all done through his pattern. I'll show you the pattern here in a moment. So there it is. And if we want to loop this, we've got some other commands that we can use. For example, we can say wait. I don't see it. I need to pause it because it's already repeating itself. So we're going to wait 150 and then loop. So let me go ahead and refresh this so we get rid of those helicopters. Go back to the top. So looking at this once more, yeah, you want to be careful. You really should pause when you're editing it because it can kind of reactivate itself and everything. So, the reason why you heard Mega Man shoot is because when I typed A in wait, that's the action button. So, you can edit in real time, but in some cases you may want to pause it because you could get some stuff going crazy. But it should work pretty well. It shouldn't blow up or anything. You just may have some weird results. So that's why it's a good idea to pause. So now what's going to happen is we're going to spawn the helicopter. It's going to wait 150 frames. Actually, you know what? Let's make this 250 because that's only a second and a half. And then it's going to start over again. So we're going to end up with a bunch of helicopters here. And after 2.5 seconds, it's going to spawn the next one. There's the next one. And I've got these to where these don't really collide with anything, but this is going to turn into quite the mess, so let's go ahead and refresh this to get rid of those guys. We've also got random, and the way random works is it's similar to weight, except it's random, so it's going to be a lot more erratic. So let's show you how this works. And it may be a long time before the next one goes. It's basically just passing a random integer. The higher the number, the longer it's going to take. So you see, it took a while. See, the second one took a while, but the third one was almost instant. So if I set this, for example, to, let's set it to random 15,000. Most likely you're not going to see that second helicopter for quite some time, because every single frame it's passing this random number, and until it hits the number 1, it's looking for the number 1, it won't do anything else. So it could be literally hours, probably not, but it could be hours before we see the next one. And that's how an emitter works. So but the thing is that I could have probably just had the helicopter sit up here and just float down periodically and then just wait itself. So that's not very unique. So what I'm going to do is, let me go ahead and erase the script, and we're going to do something different. I'm going to move this guy, and I'm going to move him over here, because I don't want the helicopter to always appear in the same spot. So what we're going to do is, let's put it right here. I'm going to create a pattern for this emitter. So we're going to Patterns. We're going to New Pattern. Now hopefully this is going to work. This is still pretty much in beta, but we'll see if it works. And what I'm going to do is always return to original position. We want to turn that on. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the record button, and I'm going to use my arrow keys to record the pattern of moving this thing to the right. Okay? And then I'm going to hit stop. So here we go. We've got the pattern ready to go. Hit record. Now I'm going to start moving it to the right. We're going to go all the way over here. He's a little high, but that's okay. I'm going to hit stop, and now he's way over here. So let's move him up because he was a little too low. Let's kind of watch how this works. We'll set the camera to follow him. Let's hit the play button. Now the pattern's loading, so there he goes. And once he gets to the edge, he should spawn on the other side. There he goes. So now he's back to his original position, and he's just going to continue to go left and right on the screen over and over and over and over again. So let's go ahead and pause this. Now we're going to redo the emitter, the heli, and the heli behavior facing to the left. Add the object, and we're going to put a random 350 at the start. Let's go ahead and refresh this level to make sure everything's completely reset. And now the helicopter's not always going to spawn in the exact same spot. So, oh, we need to loop this as well. Whoops. So now we hit play, and I've still got the camera following this guy. Actually, I do not. We'll go back and set that back. So we'll set it to the emitter. So now the camera's going to follow him. So now the helicopter. So there's one helicopter. There's another helicopter. So now let's take a look at it. Let's set Mega Man to be the target. So now with Mega Man we can run around and jump up, and the emitter's going to be, see, now we got these helicopters spawning, and they're going to drop all these health boxes. So it can periodically drop health for us. There's our emitter. See, we need it to be higher so we can't see it. But it's going to sit here and just spawn these helicopters over and over and over again, and you're going to have all these health boxes spawning. You can see that it pretty much dropped one in the exact same spot twice. That's pretty remarkable. And I haven't made it to where I can pick these up yet, but you see all these health boxes getting dropped from this emitter. He's going to drop another one. And that one might actually drop too low. No, it's still got on top. You see, got all these boxes being dropped, and there's our emitter up at the top. And of course, like I said, we'd want to let's refresh this and make it just a little bit higher, since Mega Man can get that high to see it. So we right click on it and hit move it up a little bit higher. It's going to go back to our Mega Man. You see some more helicopter. Now we shouldn't be able to see it, so it'll have a little bit more of that feel a little bit more quote-unquote magical, I suppose. Haven't seen any helicopters yet. They're up here somewhere. Now, of course, in the final version of the game, I won't want them to spawn as frequently. Oh, saw something up there. That may have been the emitter again. Now there's a helicopter, so he's going to drop down and drop the little health box. There's the health box. It spins and drops down. The little spinning effect, that's just... I just did that in Photoshop very quickly. I am planning on adding some more sprite animation effects where you will be able to rotate and scale your sprites as well. Those features will be coming. There's another one drop. There's a couple. Drop, stack up on top. And that's how you do an emitter system, and you can do a lot of things with the emitter system. Of course, you don't just have to emit sprites either. You can emit sounds, scripts, and cutscenes. You do a lot of very, very unique things with this, with the Arcade County emitter system.